Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're cracking open an ancient Buddhist text. And you know what? It's got this incredible, timeless lesson on leadership. It all boils down to a story about asking one simple but really radical question. So the text we're looking at is called the Sutra on Ending the Summer Retreat. Now, I know, it sounds ancient, and it is. But what it describes, wow. It's basically a blueprint for building the kind of trust and, that psychological safety that any team today would kill for. Right from the get-go, this text just flips our whole idea of a leader on its head. You know that image of the untouchable, perfect boss? Yeah, forget that. This story gets at something way deeper. It asks, what does it really look like for the person at the very top to be humble? Okay, so it all kicks off with a simple question. But, and this is the key part, when it's coming from the Buddha and he's asking his top disciples, well, let's just say nobody saw it coming. So, let's set the scene. Picture this. For 3 solid months, these monks have been in this intense retreat, just meditating, practicing, going deep. And now it's over. You've got 500 of the most dedicated, spiritually advanced monks all gathered with their teacher for this big ceremony. I mean, can you just imagine the energy in that room? It must have been electric. And this isn't just some stuffy, formal thing. It's a ceremony called pavarana. And that name is perfect because it literally means to invite. And what are they inviting? Criticism. It's this pretty wild practice of mutual accountability where monks basically say to each other, hey, if you saw me mess up, tell me. The whole point is total transparency, keeping the community healthy and in sync. But here's where it gets really interesting, the twist. You'd expect the students to start, right? Nope. The Buddha himself, the fully enlightened teacher, he speaks first. And what does he do? He asks them for feedback. He basically opens himself up and says, hey guys, this whole retreat, anything I did, said, or even thought that was off, let me know. I mean, talk about a radical act of leadership. That just doesn't happen.
So what do you even say to that? Your teacher, who you see as perfect, asks you to critique him. How do you respond? Well, let's see how his chief disciple, the super wise Śāriputra, handles this very unique situation.
Śāriputra steps up, and he doesn't just go, nah, you're good. He gives this really thoughtful answer. He explains why they all see the Buddha as faultless. He talks about him being a guide, a comfort, basically the anchor for the whole community. It's a really smart response, full of respect, but also shows he gets the bigger picture.
But Śāriputra is sharp. He gets that this isn't just a question, it's a teaching moment. And in this just brilliant move, he shows everyone he's paying attention by immediately turning the tables on himself. He asks the Buddha to point out his faults. See what he did there? He just copied the master's move. And by doing that, bam, he instantly creates a new rule for the group. He's showing everyone, hey, this isn't just something for the big guy. This is for all of us. I'll go first.
And this is just such a perfect example of this amazing dynamic. You have the teacher, the Buddha, who leads with humility to make it safe for everyone. He's like, see, no one is above reproach, not even me. Then you have the student, Śāriputra, who immediately grabs that idea and runs with it, making it the standard for everybody else. It's a beautiful back and forth.
In the Buddha's response to Śāriputra, it's just beautiful. He showers him with praise, basically calls him his son, a crown prince who's ready to take over the kingdom. He says, look, I started this whole thing, this wheel of the law, and you, Śāriputra, you're ready to keep it spinning. And then, the bottom line, I find no fault in you.
But Śāriputra isn't done yet. This guy's a true leader. He doesn't just stop with himself. He then speaks for the entire group, all 500 monks, and asks for forgiveness on their behalf. He takes it from being about me to being about us. It's this incredible shift from individual to collective responsibility. So the Buddha says, okay, I accept. And right after that, he reveals something absolutely mind-blowing about this particular group of monks.
Get this, he confirms that every single one of them, all 500, are arahats. That means they're fully awakened, totally free from suffering. I mean, what a moment. It's this huge confirmation of all their hard work. But of course, Śāriputra, who's always thinking, is like, okay, that's amazing, but I need the details. He basically asks for a breakdown.
This is incredible, world-honored one, but can you give us the stats? Like, what are the specific types of enlightenment we're talking about here? He's curious about the different flavors of their achievement, the nitty-gritty details.
And the Buddha's like, sure thing. He lays it all out. As you can see, the biggest chunk by far, 320 of them, are what's called liberated by wisdom. These are the folks who got there through sheer intellectual power, through insight, kind of like the brilliant analysts of the group. Then you've got two smaller groups of 90 monks each. One group is liberated in both ways, so they used both that sharp wisdom and deep meditation. The other group has threefold knowledge, which means they had some pretty amazing skills, like seeing past lives. And the big takeaway from all this, there's more than one way to get to the top of the mountain.
So you've got this whole incredible scene playing out. The leader's humility, the top student's wisdom, this big reveal about everyone's success. The vibe in the room must have been off the charts. And it inspires one of the monks, a guy famous for his way with words, to stand up and capture it all in a poem.
So this monk, Vāgisha, gets up and starts to speak. And his poem kicks off by just celebrating the day, right? He paints this picture of a moment of total purity where 500 people have broken free from all the stuff that weighs us down, all those mental chains.
Then he shifts his focus to the Buddha, but he doesn't praise him like some kind of god. No, he calls him the ultimate doctor, a doctor for the mind, the one who knows how to find and remove the root cause of all our problems, what he calls the sickness of craving. And he closes with this just awesome image. He bows to the Buddha, calling him the Dharma King. But then he compares him to the sun, the great sun that lights up all the dark places and helps everything grow. It's really powerful. And that's how the story ends. There's no big, complicated philosophical lecture. It just ends, with this community totally together, totally unified. The text says they were filled with joy. And you get the sense it's not just, happy, clappy joy. It's this deep, profound feeling that comes from seeing their leader's humility and knowing what they'd all accomplished together. So, what's the big takeaway from all this? For me, this ancient story shows that real leadership, true leadership, isn't about being perfect or never making mistakes. It's about having the guts to make it safe for other people to be honest. It's a heck of a model for building trust, right? And it leaves us with a pretty challenging thought to chew on. What would actually change in our own lives, in our jobs, our teams, maybe even our families, if the person in charge had the courage to just ask, hey, did I get anything wrong?